wonderfully. What a lovely reaction.
Oh, no. Do you want to see it again? We'll hear it again. Do more time. Warwick Davis!
That's amazing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Well, anyone think Anthony Daniels just walked on stage? That's amazing. Thank you. Goodness, look at all of you here. Yeah, this is a lovely event, by the way. I'd just like to say, I've only been here for a few hours doing some signing, and it's just so lovely, and everyone's so friendly, and yeah, what a terrific place this is. Yeah,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're so thrilled to have you here at FanX. We're so thrilled.
It's good to be here. Now, I mean, I usually like to kind of go straight to questions because I don't know what you guys want me to talk about today. So I want you to kind of steer the shape of the show and ask me a question, and that may lead me into another story or whatever. So do we have our first question?
Yeah, we're here
already. Fabulous. Okay.
And will you use it for clandestine purposes or for the betterment of mankind?
Okay, so the beginning of the question was, if I was to have one magical power, what would it be? And then how would I use it, basically? You know, it's actually a power that Professor Flitwick could impart, because it's the ability to levitate, and I would like the ability to levitate myself, I think. Because it would be useful to reach cash machines and stuff like that. It would be very useful for me in life. So I think the ability to levitate would be most useful. Although also, I mean, having an invisibility cloak would also be very good as well, wouldn't it? Yeah, I think you could get up to mischief with something like that, though. I don't want to go into what I would use it for right here and now.
It's a family panel.
I'll let you use your imaginations, yeah. Thanks for that question, good one. Hello.
Hi, my question is it true while filming Harry Potter that they couldn't get a reaction out of Daniel Radcliffe, so you scared him?
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting story. It was while we were making the very first film. Is it called the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone here?
Here, it's the Sorcerer's
Stone. So we were making the first one, and I was the Goblin Bank Teller sitting up at the big desk there, and Harry and Hagrid come to the table, and the director, Chris Columbus, said we need Daniel to kind of look a bit scared here. So he said, when I say action, I wonder if you could make us sort of scare him. Okay, and I said, oh yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, I'll do that. So the camera's on Daniel, and I'm off camera, and Chris said action, and I sort of went like that. Yeah, and he did exactly what you just did. I must be a really bad actor. That's the scariest I get nowadays. So that happened. It didn't work. But yeah. But Daniel's a terrific actor, I will say. I mean, look at him. He grew up on screen in front of all of us, and is now doing brilliant work outside of Harry Potter as well. So yeah, hats off to Daniel. Although that wasn't his finest moment right there. Because he laughed. Thanks for your question. Great stuff.
Next question.
Yeah.
Hi. I want to know, what was it like to work with David Mitchell and Lee Mack on Would I Lie to You?
Wow, I didn't even do that. I've never had that question before. So this is a show, if you haven't seen it, that we have in the UK, and it's called Would I Lie to You, and it's about kind of spotting whether something is the truth or a lie within some funny stories. And they have two team captains, Lee Mack and David Mitchell, and I'm normally on Lee Mack's team. And we have to tell stories about things that have happened. And one of the stories I told, and it's up to you to figure out whether this is the truth or a lie. Okay, we'll have a show of hands. As a kid, when I first learned to drive, I used to drive around with my friend Daniel, and we'd sit actually kind of parked up. Okay, and we'd order a burger. We'd sit there eating burgers, pretending we were cops that we'd seen in American movies, right? You know, they sit there eating a burger while they're just kind of chatting, and we'd say, if we see a green car go by, we'll chase it. So we'd sit there eating the burgers, and as soon as the green car, or whatever we were eating, we'd throw the burger and we'd head off. Not obviously keeping to the speed limit, but we'd follow the green car to its final destination, and then we'd park up and carry on eating the burger. Is that a true story? Who thinks it's true? Okay, and who thinks that's a lie? It's kind of about 50-50, don't you think?
Yeah, really split right down the middle there.
Well, believe it or not, that is the truth. Yeah, so ridiculous. But that's the basis of the show, and that's the kind of stories you'll hear. Good question, though. Never had that.
So that's your impression of cops in America just eating hamburgers in a car.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cliche, really, from the movies. I don't believe that they'd still do that now. I think they don't eat burgers, they just sit drinking coffee now. Thanks, officers, you do a great job, thanks. Alright, who do you have next?
So, there have been some rumblings from Ron Howard on Twitter that there might be something new with a follow-up to Willow. My question is, can you tell us if anything is moving forward on that? And can you tell Ron that I said Bryce Dallas would make a great Elora Danon?
I haven't heard Ron's rumblings on Twitter about this. I don't know whether you're just making that up to make me say something. I don't know. But I would love there to be rumblings of such. You know, Willow is a project that's very dear to me, and the enduring popularity of the film is astonishing, to be honest, because, you know, that film is, it came out in 1988, believe it or not. So it's over 30 years old now. To see now younger generations watching the movie and enjoying it on DVD, etc., is really lovely. And I've met so many people today, you know, brought their kids along, and they all enjoy the film as a family. And it's lovely to be reunited with Val again. I mean, I do keep in touch with him, but just to see him again is fantastic. And yeah, I'd love to get back into the shoes of that character because he's much older. I'm much older. I still look great though, you'll agree. But as an actor, I'm older and wiser, and the character would be older and wiser, and who knows where you can go with it, because the land and the world is so well established that, you know, you can dip into there and introduce new characters and, you know, new cast, as you've suggested there as well. So, you know, these things do filter out, you know, and out of this room this will filter away into the world of the internet, and who knows one day, but I would certainly love to revisit that world and that character. And it's nice to know that you know, there's still a place within the fans' hearts for it as a project. Thank you.
In Hollywood, they do like a focus group. Let's do it right here. Should they do another Willow film?
That's it. I think that we should have like a collection at the door. We can get the budget together. We can make it. It's done. Yeah. We can shoot it on an iPhone. It's done. It's done. Okay. Hello, sir.
In your Ewok suit, like, what would you do?
You know, I think I said it at the beginning, and I was thinking, what a lovely population Salt Lake City has. What an intelligent people there are here, and where are you from?
Speaking of the microphone,
Where are you from?
Bountiful?
Does that kind of explain this now? Let me just say this. You wouldn't want to sneeze in an Ewok head. I mean, you wouldn't want to, because, yeah, you can imagine the consequences. I mean, hard enough to see anyway, because as soon as you put one on, the heat from your body would mist up the eyes, so I couldn't often see where I was going. But I will tell you a story, actually. George Lucas's daughter, Amanda, was a big fan of Ewoks, in particular Wicket. And for her 4th birthday, George said to me, would you come to the birthday party as Wicket for Amanda and her friends? And I said, yeah, sure. So I went up to his house, and all of Amanda and her friends were out by the pool. It was a lovely hot day. And I got into the costume, and the person that was with me, who had brought me in the costume, said, okay, we'll go out there for like 10 minutes and then you'll come back in to cool down. But they said, George would like you to bring the cake out. I said, okay. Will there be candles? And they said, yes. And I said, can I just point out, I am highly flammable, okay? So can we be careful here? And also I said, I'm a bit worried about the swimming pool, because I'm like a sponge. I will sink straight to the bottom. So they said, we'll look after you. So I carried the cake out, and everyone was excited, and they blew the candles out. And then one of Amanda's friends decided that Wicket would like some cake. And Wicket, of course, couldn't say, no, he doesn't want any cake, because it would ruin the illusion. So Wicket was like, hoping that the person who was with me was going to say, actually, Wicket's had, you know, he doesn't eat cake or whatever, but no, they didn't. So the cake was stuffed into the hole here, the mouth. And I couldn't consume as much cake as was being pushed in. So the remaining cake gradually filled up the inside of the face. Unfortunately, just after that, the kind of handler that I was with sort of said, Wicket's going to go inside for a bit of a rest to digest his cake. And when I took the head off, all this chocolate cake fell over George Lucas's cream carpet. Yes, and that's what happens. You know, it's kind of a similar thing to you've asked, really. But yeah, my face was full of the cake.
I guess I gotta ask you, you said the president. Is that story true, or is that a lie?
That's a true story. That would be a good one for the next time I go on. Would I lie to you? Because it could be fiction, couldn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Hello.
Hello. While filming the Leprechaun films, what was your favorite scene in the film? Oh, no. What was your favorite movie scene in the film from it, and why?
From the Leprechaun movies?
Yes.
Do you like those movies?
Sadly.
You do?
Okay.
Yeah, so the Leprechaun movies, people don't usually confess to enjoying the films, in public at least, but which was my favourite scene to film. I mean, if I think about those movies, they all kind of become one whole kind of experience, you know, because I've made 6 of those, believe it or not. Yeah, thank you, one person enjoyed it. What was a favourite scene to film? I know what I enjoyed. It was in the first film, I think. I had the little go-kart, and I would drive it, and I'd never driven a go-kart, and they obviously had to adapt it so I could reach the pedals, and I enjoyed doing it, actually. I loved driving around in that little go-kart. And there was a scene in that with the cliche cops. They were eating donuts, weren't they? And I would buy the go-kart, and they had to chase me down. Yeah, I like doing stuff with the go-kart. What else I like? The scene in the Vegas one, the third one. All of that stuff that was with the cutting the lady in half with a real chainsaw. That was quite fun. That was all good. Because the way that we did that was kind of as I started to soar into the box, they had a kind of air compressor shooting sawdust up, so it would kind of give the illusion I was actually soaring into this box. Which was quite fun. So, and also the stuff we did on the streets. Now, when you make a film, you have to have a permit to shoot. But for some reason, we didn't have any permits to shoot in Las Vegas. And so we stayed in the Mirage Hotel. I was put into the Leprechaun makeup in the hotel room. And then during the evening, and then we went downstairs through the casino. But what's weird, in Las Vegas, nobody took any notice. They were like, you know, they would just start, that's a Leprechaun, yeah. You know, they thought it was a good luck charm. They were like, yeah, we're going to win tonight, yeah. They were excited to see that. And then I went out onto the sort of the strip, as it were, and we would have to kind of jump out of the vehicle with the camera and film something quickly before anyone came along. You know, before the cops with burgers came along, we jumped back into the car again and went off to another area and did some more filming. So it was quite exciting. It was quite exciting. Thanks for that question, though. Cool. Hello.
Hi there. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well.
My name is Chase, and I'm from Idaho Falls, Idaho. And my question is, between your characters, Willow, Professor Flitwick, and the Leprechaun, which one of them do you think best would have defeated Queen Bad?
So which of those 3 is best at defeating? So we kind of set aside the fact that Willow kind of did do that. But on one side. He doesn't count really in this, does he? Because I think he probably is the best at it. So we've got Flitwick and the Leprechaun left over, yeah?
Yes.
Which of those two? So what would the approach be? I mean, Flitwick obviously has got a wand again. He could do some stuff there. Just, you know.
But she does know how to do fireballs and lightning, though.
What's that?
According to the book,
She's got fireballs and lightning. I know she has. I know. I've been in the same room as her. That fooled her already. I know what she's got. I mean, the Leprechaun, sometimes he has like kinetic powers. He can like move people around, can't he? Sometimes. Otherwise he just gets physically stuck in kind of thing. So we kind of wrestle with that border. You can have the Leprechaun wrestle. Otherwise we've got the kind of Flitwick would just, you know, he can levitate her and then just send her off out, you know, into the, you know, netherworld or whatever. I don't know. I think Willow's the best guy, to be honest, Jason. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your question. Wait, I like the cape, or is it just a bath towel you forgot to take off? What is it? Okay. Okay, hello.
Hi, thank you so much for coming to spend time with us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, thank you. Thank you.
I was wondering what it was really like to travel around with Karl Pilkington.
Yeah. So what was it like to travel around? Well, you know, people often ask me, what's Karl like? What's he really like? He can't be like that, but that is the real Karl. This isn't an act. So when the camera's rolling, he's Karl, and when the camera stops rolling, he's still the same Karl. And, you know, all of the instances in Idiot Abroad when he stumbled across things that I'd done in the movies, like saying something about, oh, you'll be telling me you're in Harry Potter next, or whatever, and you know, I said, well, I was. These were real moments that happened. And all of the stuff you see in the show is as it happens. So, you know, if Karl decides he doesn't like something, that's what we get in the TV show, you know. And it was an amazing experience, though, traveling with Karl. He makes you see the world in a unique way, and I was determined to make him see it in a more positive, optimistic way, but that proved to be impossible. So, and at the very end of the show, when we go up to the Cow Tower, and I was trying to make him jump because he had refused to do 2 bungee jumps during the series of Video Abroad previous to that one. And I thought this was be a great finale, you know, we could get him to jump and everyone would think, yeah, you know, he's conquered his fear of doing this. But I didn't want to jump off it myself. I don't like heights, you know. I get vertigo when I'm changing the bulb in my desk lamp at home. You know, I don't like going up high. For obvious reasons, and so I kind of was terrified being up there, and I mentioned that, well, he's never going to do this. He's saying, no, I'll do it. I'll go down the thing, and then maybe when I come back up, he'll go, oh, well, he's done it. I don't want to look silly. I'll do it. So I clicked onto this. The problem with those things is the cable's so thin, and you can't imagine how it's ever going to support you. And you have these guys there, they're very gung-ho, and they're like, yeah, come on, get on, and they kind of put me out over the ledge, so I'm hanging, ready to drop. But they left me hanging there ages because they wanted to get shots of me hanging and things for the program, and I'm like, can we just get on with this? And then, this is the worst bit, they go, okay, here we go, 3, I said, don't count, just do it, 3, 2, oh, hold on a minute, we haven't pulled this lever we should have pulled. And then I'm sort of rotating around and I'm seeing Karl standing, and then I'm seeing the sort of cityscape over there, and then they just released the thing and let me go. And for the first few seconds I did swear, and I don't normally swear, but then once you sort of reach the kind of top speed, as it were, I think it's called terminal velocity, then it becomes quite a nice feeling. It's like you're flying. It's really quite nice. So it goes from terror to elation in a split second. And then I hit the crash mat at the bottom, and then you know, it's weird, you want to do it all again. So for those of you who do these kind of extreme sports, I can understand why, because you kind of get this rush of adrenaline and you just want to do it again. Ran up to the top, said, Karl, this is fantastic, you should do it, and he didn't do it, as we saw in the program, which was disappointing. But travel's great. If you get the chance to go to India, there wasn't a country on earth that's more full of life, colour, vibrancy, sound. It's a kind of full-on place. You don't go there for a holiday, you go there for an experience. It was absolutely terrific. I loved it. Yes.
Which of your movies is your favorite?
Oh, that's a hard question. Which of my movies is my favourite? I think Return of the Jedi has a very special place in my heart because it was the first film I'd ever done. I was 11 years old, and the character Wicket has given me the career and the life that I have. Without that character, I wouldn't have done any of the things that I've gone on to do. And not a day goes by that I don't talk about Star Wars, and it's not because I'm at an event like this, it's my everyday life. People ask me about Star Wars all the time, it's a lovely thing to have on your CV. And for me, I was a fan of Star Wars since I was 7 years old. I went to see A New Hope when it came out, and it had a huge impact on me, and little did I know, 4 years later, I would be in one of these movies. I mean, that was just a mind-blowing experience, I think. And then to now be able to kind of be in more Star Wars movies, be the kind of the host of Star Wars Celebration, and to experience all the things I've done for Disney regarding Star Wars. I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. And fortunately, I'm a fan because I think I would have been sick of it by now. But because I love it so much and love to immerse myself in that world, I still enjoy Star Wars as much as I ever did. Thanks for your question.
Okay. So, out of all the characters you've played, movies, shows, whatever, which do you think you can most take on in a fight, and which one do you think you could least take on?
So, of all the characters I play, which is the most
Which one can you take on most in a fight?
take on? So, me personally, would I want to take one, and which one wouldn't I want to take on?
Correct.
Are you from that place that those lads were from? Which? Oh, so I'm Warwick Davis. Okay, so I'm walking. This is me coming out now, and then over there is me as one of my characters. Which one would I kind of want to go over and hug, and which one would I run away from? Essentially that. Okay, so let's think about them. Who have we heard? I mean, the Leprechaun, I wouldn't like to mess about with him. Although I think if you don't mess about with his gold, I think he's quite a nice person to hang out with. You know, you can have a beer with the Leprechaun and have a great evening, but if you start messing with his coins, then that's it. So, if I was to kind of see him, I'd be fine with him if he didn't have his gold with him. Who else? I mean, Professor Flitwick's a nice guy to hang around with. Who else have we got? Suggest some characters to me that I might encounter, and I'll tell you how I feel.
I don't know the banker.
The banker, the goblin bank teller. Yeah, he's alright. I think he's alright. You know, as long as you've got money in your account, it's okay. Grip Hook's alright as well, but you don't trust anything he says. Okay? I never trust a goblin. You should know that, everyone. Thank you. Who else have we got? Who else do we have? Wicket. He's alright. Give him a couple. Feed him some chocolate cake. He loves it. Deal with him. Deal with him. Have I answered your question? Have I answered your question? You're happy? Great, thank you very much, thank you. Thank you for observing the rules. I love these rules that we have here as well for this. Don't relate personal stories prior to asking the question.
Okay.
Okay, you've got to observe that one, are you? I'm keeping an eye on these in case you... You've got to ask a question in less than 1 minute. I've already used 30 seconds, so...
I'll be quick. Could you tell us the story of being on set with Carrie Fisher?
I can indeed, yes. Carrie, as we all know, was a lovely lady. And for me, being on set with her, I was just 11, turned 12 years old. And one particular thing that I remember her for was how concerned she was for me being inside the Ewok costume and how hot it was for me. And when I used to take the head off, she used to be kind of nearby with a little carton of chocolate milk and some cookies. And she would give them to me and say, "Are you feeling okay?" And I'd go, "Yeah, I'm okay." And I'd drink the milk and the cookies. And I am a bit naughty really, but I sort of thought, this is quite good actually, because when I look a bit kind of hot, she's there with the kind of the chocolate milk and cookies. So I might have started acting a bit more as if I was hot than I actually was. So that there would be a plentiful supply of cookies and milk for me as I took the head off each time. But she was really nice. I mean, so caring towards me, which was lovely. And what was great as well, over the years, we kind of had kept in touch as well. And some of my fondest memories are actually of interviewing Carrie on stage in situations like this, in Celebration in this country and also in Europe. And you know, the kind of willingness she had to kind of have fun on stage. You know, she loved the fans, you could tell that. And she also loved to recreate moments from the film, which is something I love to do with actors, and she was game for that. So we would recreate scenes from Return of the Jedi, hiding behind the log. We'd use the sofa on the stage, we'd hide behind it, and peek up and stuff. And her dog would often be on stage, Gary though, and he didn't like me. And he would. I had a little kind of arrangement of stuffed Ewoks on stage once, kind of to dress the set. And she came on with the dog, and Gary completely attacked this basket of Ewoks and like shredded them up on stage in front of everyone. It was horrific, actually. Yeah. I mean, they were relatives of mine. It was just but she was so lovely and dearly missed to this day. And yeah, so yeah, very fond of Carrie. She was lovely. Thanks for that question. Thank you. Check. I mean, the people over here, are they seeing me on the screen, or are they just kind of?
No,
do I need to go
there's
forward?
two big screens.
Oh, am I?
They can see you.
Hello. Okay. Good. Hello. How are you?
Good.
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. It's an honor to even be in the same room.
Thank you very much. That's nice of you to say. Thank you. My family often say that as well.
How does it feel to be a part of Harry Potter with how big it's become and pretty much having defined a generation?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, Harry Potter, what a phenomenal kind of series of films that was. I remember how I got to become part of that cast was because I'd heard about this book, the first book, and how successful it was. And I said to my agent, you know, if they ever make a film of this, I think there's a pie in it for me. You know, they talk about goblins and stuff, and there's this little professor in there. And then when the idea of the film came up, I was fortunate to be asked in to go and audition. And the night before, I kind of quickly found the paragraph that described Professor Flitwick and his classroom. And I'd got the scene had been given to me, a couple of pages of script, and I learned those. And I went in and met with Chris Columbus, met with David Heyman, the producer, the casting directors were there, and I played the scene as I saw it. Now, Professor Flitwick, you know, he's described as a gnome-like wizard, and also he's over 100 years old, I think, isn't he? So I thought, well, if somebody's that old, you know, his knees have gone a bit, you know, mine have, and I'm 49, but, so he kind of walks a little bit like this, you see, so I kind of did that. And then I thought, well, he's teaching, and he's very enthusiastic about what he teaches, so I thought he would maybe wave his arms around and gesticulate a lot like this, you see. And often have to do charms, so he's very used to moving his arms around. And then I thought about the voice. I thought, well, how will he sound? He's gnome-like wizard. So maybe his voice is pitched up quite high, you see, like this. And then he speaks very quickly, you see, because he wants to get the information across to the class, you see. And then we ask her, does everyone have their wands with them today? If you don't have your wand, use your imagination. Right, okay. So have your wand in your left or right hand, and we practice the swish and the flick. Come on, everyone. Yes, you, Hermione down here. Yes, the swish and the flick, and then we do the Wingardium Leviosa. And remember to enunciate Leviosa. Okay, we'll put the two together. Wingardium Leviosa. And again, Wingardium Leviosa. Splendid. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was the largest charge class I've ever done. Yeah. I almost levitated then. I've got the power of all of it. Hello, young man. How are you?
I'm good.
And what's your question?
Was Willow your favorite character?
What's my favourite character? Is
Willow?
Willow? Is Willow my favourite character? It is now. He is now. Now you've asked it. Of course he is. I mean, he's a great character to have played. I enjoyed it immensely because I got to do lots of action stuff. Because I was only 17 back then, right? So for me, doing my own stunts was like cool. I don't think that anymore. Because it hurts far too much. But back then, I wanted to do all the action stuff that I could. I had to do a lot of training. And so we went through some rehearsal periods. So I would work with Val Kilmer on scenes. So we'd rehearse the scenes. Then I would go ahead and do some sword fighting practice. So some training for that. I had to go to horse riding lessons, which was great. A funny story, and actually meeting John Cleese earlier reminded me of this. I need to mention it to him, but the British are kind of, we're very polite, and we don't tend to correct people. And I went to my horse riding lesson. The very first day, the horse riding lady said to me, "Hi, Merrick, nice to meet you." She called me Merrick. And I was like, odd. And I didn't know why I didn't straight away say, "Well, who's Merrick? I'm Warwick." But I didn't. So for the entire duration of my horse riding lessons, which lasted about 2 months, I was Merrick Davis. What did this woman think when she saw the film credits? I don't know. They spelled his name wrong. But anyway, I had horse riding lessons. I had to learn to scuba dive. Now people go, "Why scuba diving? What are you doing?" And we never saw that in the movie. Well, it was, if you've seen the DVD, there's a deleted scene where Willow is tossed overboard from the little rowing boat when he goes to see, he goes to pick up the possum, Finn Rizal, which is a possum, and he takes her back to the mainland. On the way back, Mordo kind of gets wind of this, and she creates a big storm, which to try and stop this happening and kill Willow and Finn Rizal. And if you watch the movie now, because that bit's been cut out, when I leave the island, I'm all dry, and when I'm back on the mainland, on dry land, I'm all wet, but nobody ever explains why. See, that's why. Because there's this whole sequence missing. But we spent a couple of weeks filming, and some of it I had to film underwater, and I had to learn to scuba dive to be able to stay under, put in the breathing apparatus, and take it out, do the scene, put it back in again without going to the surface. One of the worst things, though, for me to learn, one of the most difficult things, being a 17-year-old boy, was I had to have diaper changing lessons. Because I had to look like I was a father and knew how to handle a baby and do all of the things that you do to care for a child. And it was horrendous. I mean, I was trying to be a cool 17-year-old in sword fighting, scuba diving, horse riding, Merrick, and then diaper changing. And I felt bad because these mums would bring these babies into rehearsals thinking their baby was going to be a movie star, but we were just using the child for me to rehearse, you know, feeding and all of these things for, you know, which was challenging. I don't even remember what your question was, but I've enjoyed talking to you nonetheless. Thank you. Hey, how you doing?
Warwick Davis. Sorry, I just had to say that in front of a microphone.
Okay, thank you.
But I was curious to hear some of your experiences while working with Val Kilmer on the set of Willow.
Yeah, I will relay some experiences to you now. I think it'll be a question. Val, what can I say about Val? No, he's in the building, so I don't want to kill him. No, he's great. I mean, Val has got a very unique sense of humour, okay? And if you don't know him, you can kind of take it the wrong way. And when I was getting to know him, there were occasions when I did take it the wrong way. For example, one of them was, we got to fly to New Zealand, okay? Which was a lovely place to go and film. But to get there, you also have to get on a plane. And this was the first time I'd ever flown first class. Okay, so I got on the plane. I'm sitting in the seat, appreciating the leg room. And I had some Ray-Ban sunglasses on, but these were fake ones that I bought in a cheap marketplace for about $5, okay? And I put them on, and then at the time the lenses were so bad you couldn't see anything. And I'm sitting there, glasses on, leg room, Hollywood, here I come, even though we were going to New Zealand. But that's what I was thinking. I made it. And Val got on the plane, and he looked down at me in a rather kind of perplexed way, took the glasses off my face, and snapped them in half. I said, what have you done that for? And he just looked at me. And he let me get angry. Because I'm quite funny when I'm angry. And he waited about a minute actually. I'm getting, why do you do that? And then he pulled out 2 pairs of real Ray-Bans, a brown pair and a black pair, and said, these are much cooler. So, what a generous guy. I mean, even though he just purchased them tax-free, he's still very generous. In buying me those glasses. But he was great. I mean, we worked together very closely for months, you know, making that film, all over the world. He was a great mentor because he encouraged me when it was tough, when physically it was really difficult. We were very cold, we were very tired. He'd just kind of keep your spirits up, you know. He's that kind of guy. You know, we keep in touch, and it's nice when I get to see him again at events like this as well. Yeah, we were reunited on screen for the Life's Too Short special. Did anyone see that episode? You need to find it though, if you haven't seen it, because it's really funny. The whole plot revolves around him trying to get money out of me for Willow 2. It's really funny. It was great working with him again and just having some dialogue with him, and it made me realise what an imaginative and a brilliant improvisational actor he is, because we had a lot of scenes where we could just kind of make up the dialogue, and it was a lot of fun. Thank you for that question. Appreciate it. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us here. It's been awesome.
Actually, it's nice to be here, although I am contractually obliged. Okay.
You've had such an impactful career, and I think I can speak for many of us when I say that you've been a part of our lives since we started. So yes.
One person would like to get that as well. Thank you.
And what I would like to know is, after your career is done and at the end of everything, what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh boy.
That's an interesting direction.
We had a great mood in the room, didn't we? Just yeah. After I'm done. So like when I'm dead, basically, that's what you said. Yeah. When I'm dead and buried, what would you like people to be thinking? What I like people to be thinking? I'd like them to think, what a shame. What a shame. The world's not the same without him. We miss his great movies. You know, shame we didn't get around to making Willow 2. I'm glad he got to make Star Wars 28 before he died. I don't know. It's interesting, he's got the same size headstone as everyone else does. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Shame I didn't get his autograph on the poster. Too late now, though. I don't know, it's an interesting thought, though, isn't it? One which I care not to think about anymore, though, I think. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing until I can do it no more.
Scene to do in Labyrinth.
Ah, Rebecca, thank you. Labyrinth. Now that's a lovely film. Are you a fan of Labyrinth? Do you like Labyrinth? Yeah, great. I love that movie. Now, if you watch the film, you'll see me kind of scatter around all over. So, in the very beginning of the film, I'm kind of in, what was her name again? Sarah's bedroom. And also at the very end, I'm in the bedroom and during the party sequence. And you'll notice me when you look again. I have a long beak that comes out here, and then the back of my head, the helmet comes out along the other way. I look like a kind of like a pickaxe, kind of top of my head, like a bird-like thing. That was what I looked like in that sequence. And then later in the film, I'm of course that goblin again. But I'm also a different goblin that had like a kind of a gas mask type face and a very tall helmet. And in particular, I'm running around all over the place during the rocks sequence, you know, when Ludo kind of summons up the rocks. And yeah, it was great fun. Because also at times you'll see these little things zooming across on the floor. I don't know whether you noticed them. But they were a toy at the time, and you would wind them up, and they were supposed to kind of scare people, not like a spider. And then you put them on the floor and then they would kind of scoot along. And Jim Henson cleverly glued lots of feathers to these things and then had loads of them in boxes. And then during the scene, people would let them go. And I spent quite a lot of time on Labyrinth sitting in little corners with a box full of these sticks, winding them up, and then let them shoot across. That was one of my contributions to the film. And another bit that is during the rock chasing sequence was there's a goblin that runs into his house and sort of shouts, "I've had enough, I'm going to bed." Runs in, and then the rocks all pile in after him. And we did that backwards. Okay, so can you imagine this? To get the rocks to fly in through the door, they kept trying it. We'd throw them, and they'd miss the door, and it'd be like, "Oh, how are we going to do this?" So what we did, we had me, and let me just think which way around this again. So on action, they would like roll all the rocks out the door, and then I would run out backwards, do this, go, and then run up like that. When they played it the other way, I would run up, go, "I've had enough, I'm going to bed," run in the house, and then all the rocks would fly in when they reversed the film, you see? And that's how we did that bit.
So last question.
Okay,
Hi, I was just wondering, all the roles that you've played, which has been the most challenging for you?
which has been the most challenging? I think Marvin in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was a really challenging role. Thank you. Because of the weight of the costume. When I went into that project, I thought, oh, isn't it lovely? I haven't got to have any prosthetic makeup glued on. I can literally rock up 5 minutes before we shoot, step into it, done. No way. It was not like that at all. The costume weighed about 2/3 of my body weight. So to kind of just move in it was an extreme physical effort. The arms were about that much longer than my arms. Just to kind of lift it up was really, really difficult. I couldn't see anything. So I relied on 2 screens. I had 2 video monitors inside the huge spherical head here and here. And one of the camera views on this monitor was from a tiny pinhole camera between the eyes. If you think about Marvin, there's a black line that runs across his head up here between the 2 triangular eyes, and there was a camera. So I could see where I was looking. If I turned the head, this camera here would show me a view. This screen here had a picture from the film camera sent in, so I could see myself and the other car. So if somebody walked up beside me, I could see them, and then I could respond by looking up at them, perhaps. The good thing about this whole thing, though, I didn't have to learn my script, because I could stick the pages of script inside. All my scenes in here. So I'm like, okay, we're doing this bit now, yeah, right, good. And I could do that. But it was heavy, and also I was very worried about falling over, because we had 1 spare of each part of the costume. You know, spare arm, spare head. And if I had fallen over, it would have shattered. And I could have injured myself, actually, because it was all made of fiberglass and everything. They did try and lighten it by sort of drilling holes in all of the kind of the structure of it, like they do with a Formula 1 car, to kind of lighten everything. But just with the battery packs and all these monitors and cameras and everything else, it proved really difficult. It was, one of the most challenging things I've ever done, especially out in, we filmed in Wales, in South Wales, in a quarry, and trying to walk across there in the wind, you know, I became like a big sail, this head. It wasn't, I thought it'd be aerodynamic, it wasn't. It blown over. So yeah, very, very challenging. Thank you for that one. Good question.
Everybody give a huge round of applause for Warwick.